Hey, welcome back to PSLE Math for you. It's Leroy again, and today we are going to go through year 2020 paper 2 question 17. The topic is on numbers. Now, for those of you who know of a friend who could benefit from this video, please share it with them. This is a free resource for everybody. As for today, let's check out this question. Come on. Alright, let's see what we have here. Now, when I read these questions, I like to visualize them because, it helps me keep my head clear before I get confused at the later part of the question. So I'm going to show you how I do this. Mrs. Wu spent 1/6 of her money on on a dress and 2 blouses. So she has her money can be split into 6 parts. Basically, that's what they're telling us. And she spent 1 part of that on a dress and 2 blouses. So let's kind of work out what 6 parts is first. So we have 6 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And she spent 1 part of that 6 parts on a dress and 2 blouses. So I'm going to color that 1 part green, and this represents a dress and 2 blouses, or money she spent on that. Now, she says that the dress costs 3 times more than the blouse. Okay, we're going to park that aside first. Now, the next thing is Mrs. Wu spent 3/4 of the remaining money on a watch. So you can see that the remaining money is 5 parts out of 6. But she didn't spend all of that on a watch. She spent 3/4 of that on a watch. So I'm just going to highlight 3/4 and mark it as blue. So this is 3/4. The blue part is 3/4 of 5 parts out of 6. And the green part is 1 part out of 6, which she spent on a dress and 2 blouses. Now there's a statement that says that she spent $220 more on a watch than on a dress. So this blue part is $220.50 more than a dress, which is somewhere in this green part. Not the entire green part, but part of it. Now I'm going to see what other visualizations I can share, right? The first one is this blue part. If we express it in terms of fraction, this we said is 3/4 of 5 parts out of 6, right? Because the remainder was 5 parts out of the total 6 part, and we said that 3/4 of that is money spent for the watch. So I'm going to say that the watch actually costs 3/4 of 5/6. Right? Remember that 1 part was for the dresses and the blouse, and therefore the remaining, which is 5 parts out of 6, 3/4 of that, not the entire part of that, was for a watch. Now the next visualization I want to park just somewhere, in my workings, is that out of this 1/6 of money spent on a dress and a blouse, the dress costs 3 times as much as each blouse. So one dress costs 3 times as much as each blouse. So if the blouse costs $1, then the dress will cost $3. So all in all, if I look at 2 blouses she bought and 1 dress that she bought, she spent 5 parts in all, and the dress was 3 parts of that 5 parts. Okay, so this is a few visualization as we kind of look through the questions. Now, the first question is, what fraction of Mrs. Wu's money was spent on each blouse? So, Mrs. Wu's money spent on a blouse would be how many parts of this 1/6? So, there are a total of 5 parts of this 1/6 that was spent, and 1 part of this 5 parts was spent on the blouse. So, if we talk about the total amount of money that Mrs. Wu had, 1/6 was spent on a dress and 2 blouses, and of this, 1/5 of that 1/6 was spent on the blouse. So it's as simple as 1/5, which is the orange color here, of this 1/6 which is this green color here, was spent on the blouse. And if I multiply it, if you multiply fractions, you're just taking the top multiplied by the bottom. So the numerator multiplied by the denominator. 1 times 1 equals to 1 here, and 5 times 6 equals to 30. That's question number 1, which gives you 1 mark. Part B of the question, which is the big question, right? Because it's 4 marks. Ask how much money did Mrs. Wu have at first? So they're essentially trying to ask you to find out how much dollars are these 6 parts. So you have to form an equation based on the statements that you have here, including a dollar value. So in here you have a dollar value that is 220.5. Now it says that she spent $220.50 more on a watch than a dress, and a watch is 3/4 of 5/6. We know that. A dress is 3/5 of 1/6, right? Because 5 parts of this 1/6 was spent on a dress and a blouse, and the dress was 3 parts of the 1/6. 3/5 parts of the 1/6. And this watch cost less the dress cost would still give you $220.50 more, because that's what the statement means. So let's see what equation I kind of put together, right? The watch cost less the cost of the dress, which is 3/5, 3 parts out of the 5 parts of the 1/6, equals to $220 left, right? Now the rest of this, you would then have to kind of work out the mathematics of it from breaking down this equation into simplest form and multiplying all these. So this is all I've done. Let's see what we see here. So 3/4 of 5/6 is 15/24. If I take 3 times 5 on the top is 15, 4 times 6 at the bottom is 24, less 3 times 1 on the top is 3, 5 times 6 is 30 at the bottom, equals to this. Now then I break both of these down into simpler form, right? So I know that this is divisible by 3, this is divisible by 3 as well, and then I get this. But then the denominator is not the same, so I have to break it down into a common denominator. So I know that the lowest common denominator would be 40, and to get 8 to 40 is multiplied by 5. So similarly, I have to multiply the top by 5 too. So 5 times 5 is 25. To get 10 to 40, I have to multiply it by 4. So similarly, if I multiply the denominator by 4, I have to multiply the numerator by 4 too. So 1 times 4 is 4. So this is what I get in the end, and then I would get a final number of 21 divided by 40. 21 over 40 is $220.50. Now, essentially, this is telling us that 21 parts of the 40 part is $200.20. Now, the objective that we need to find is how much did Mrs. Wu have at first. So they are asking you, what is the 40 out of 40 parts? And 40 out of 40 parts, to get that, you simply have to bring $220.50 divided by 21. This will give you the dollar value of 1 part. You multiply that by 40, which would in the end get you $420. Okay, if you're confused with any of this, write me a question. I'll be happy to address that. But I want to share with you some of the key learnings as well. I think with these kind of questions, the first thing, visualizing the fractions is quite important. You need to also understand the concept of multiplying the fractions, as well as expressing fractions in the simplest form, and also finding a common denominator when you are subtracting or adding fractions. Expressing fractions in one. So essentially, I think this part here was telling us, or we were trying to understand what was one part, the one whole of the fraction. And the fraction is expressed in parts of 40, and therefore one whole of the fraction is 40 over 40. And that's something that was a concept that's necessary for you to transform, to find out what the money at the end of the day was, given the fraction of the money and the dollar value of that fraction. There's also a similar question that you could try, year 2022, paper 2, question 15, and I hope that will also give you more practice. Okay, so that's it for now. Share this resource with any of your friends, right? Friend you think will benefit from this video, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me. All right, take care and good luck for now. Bye bye.